I still remember the exact moment my heart cracked open at our family homecoming reunion. The backyard was full of laughter, string lights twinkling like they were celebrating something beautiful. And there I was, standing in the middle of it all, feeling smaller than I'd ever felt in my life. My name is Sarah, and for the last 12 years I've been happily married to the most incredible man I've ever known, Mark. He's my rock, my safe place, the reason I smile even on the hardest days. But our life together has always been quiet on purpose. We don't flash money or titles. We don't post pictures or brag. We just live. I work as an executive assistant at a small firm downtown. To most people, that sounds like I sit at a desk and type emails all day. And honestly, that's exactly what I do. I schedule meetings, answer urgent messages, keep everything running smoothly behind the scenes. It's not glamorous. It doesn't come with a fancy title or corner office, but it's honest work, and I'm proud of it. That afternoon, my older sister Lisa decided it wasn't enough. She had always been the golden child, the one with the big corporate job, the perfect Instagram life, the endless stories about closing deals and traveling first class. As soon as we arrived at Mom's house, she pulled me into the center of the circle like she was putting on a show. "So, Sarah," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "still just typing emails? I mean, bless your heart for showing up every day, but when are you going to do something that actually matters?" The cousins laughed. My aunt smiled awkwardly. Even Mom looked away. I felt my cheeks burn. I wanted the ground to open up and swallow me whole. I forced a little laugh, the kind that hurts your throat, and muttered something about how I loved my job. But inside, I was shattered. 12 years of marriage, a beautiful home, a man who adored me, and in that moment, none of it seemed to matter. I was just the email girl. What they didn't know, what I had never told them because Mark asked me not to, was that the man standing quietly beside me in his plain navy polo shirt wasn't just my husband. He was Rear Admiral Mark Thompson, one of the highest-ranking officers in the United States Navy. But what I didn't know that day was that everything was about to change, and my sister's cruel little joke was about to explode right in her face. The rest of the afternoon felt like walking through broken glass. Every time someone asked what I did, Lisa would jump in with that same fake sweet voice. "Oh, Sarah just handles emails. You know how it is." The words landed like tiny knives. I kept catching Mark's eye across the yard. He stayed calm, sipping his iced tea, but I could see the tension in his jaw. He knew how much this hurt me. I had spent years protecting our secret. When Mark made Admiral 2 years ago, the Navy advised us to keep a low profile for security reasons. No big announcements, no fancy events. We chose a simple life on purpose. Weekend barbecues, movie nights, Sunday drives. I never wanted anyone to think I married him for status. I married him because he made me feel seen, loved, and safe. But that day, as Lisa kept chipping away at my worth, something inside me started to shift. I excused myself to the kitchen, pretending I needed water, but really I just needed to breathe. Tears stung my eyes. How could my own sister enjoy humiliating me like this? We grew up together. She knew my dreams, my struggles. Yet here she was, using my normal, everyday job to make herself look bigger. The betrayal cut deeper than any breakup ever could. Family is supposed to lift you up, not tear you down for laughs. When I came back outside, Lisa was telling another story, this time about how she had just gotten promoted again and how some people are just built for bigger things. The cousins nodded along. I stood there, clutching my glass so tight I thought it might shatter. Mark walked over and slipped his arm around my waist. He didn't say a word, but his touch reminded me I wasn't alone. Still, the pain was real. I felt invisible, unimportant, like the last 12 years of building a quiet, beautiful life had been erased in one afternoon. Inside, I was breaking, but something else was happening too, a quiet fire I hadn't felt in years. I was tired of shrinking myself so other people could feel tall. I looked at Mark, and for the first time, I wondered if maybe it was time to stop hiding. Not for revenge, but for respect. For me. The afternoon dragged on. Kids ran around, music played, food was passed, but every laugh that followed another one of Lisa's jokes felt like another piece of my confidence crumbling. I kept telling myself it didn't matter, that their opinions weren't my truth. Yet the hurt kept growing, heavy and sharp, until I could barely stand it. Little did I know, Mark had been watching the whole time, and he was about to do something that would change how every single person in that backyard saw me, and my sister, forever. The sun was starting to set when everything shifted. We had all gathered for the final toast. Mom asked everyone to raise a glass to family. Lisa, of course, couldn't resist one last dig. She clinked her glass loudly and said, "To Sarah, may your little email empire keep growing." A few people chuckled. My stomach twisted. That's when Mark stepped forward. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He simply straightened his shoulders, looked straight at my sister, and in that deep, calm, commanding tone I had only ever heard him use on base, he said, "Attention on deck." The backyard went dead silent. Lisa blinked, confused. "What?" Mark's voice stayed steady, powerful. I said, "Attention on deck, because the woman you've been laughing at all afternoon is the wife of Rear Admiral Mark Thompson, United States Navy. And if you want to mock someone's job, you'll do it with respect, or not at all." You could have heard a pin drop. Faces turned from shock to disbelief to pure embarrassment. Lisa's mouth opened, but nothing came out. The cousins who had laughed the loudest suddenly looked at the ground. Mom's hand flew to her chest. Mark didn't stop there. He turned to me, took my hand gently, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Sarah doesn't just type emails. She keeps an entire operation running smoothly so I can focus on leading thousands of sailors across the world. Her work may not wear a uniform, but it carries the same honor. And I will not stand by while anyone diminishes the woman I love." Tears filled my eyes, not from pain this time, but from pure, overwhelming pride. Lisa tried to backtrack, stammering, I was just joking, Mark." But it was too late. The damage was done, and the truth had finally stepped into the light. One by one, people came up to me. Apologies, hugs. Even Lisa, red-faced and quiet, mumbled that she didn't know and that she was sorry. I could see the regret in her eyes. For the first time in years, she looked small. As the party quietly wound down, Mark and I walked to the car hand in hand. The string lights still glowed, but everything felt different. I wasn't the email girl anymore. I was Sarah Thompson, respected, loved, and finally seen. That night, lying in bed, I whispered to Mark, "You didn't have to do that." He kissed my forehead and said, "Yes, I did, because you deserve to stand tall everywhere, especially with family." Looking back now, I realized the real lesson wasn't about revenge. It was about never letting other people's words define your worth. I had spent years hiding my light so others wouldn't feel blinded by it, but the truth always finds its way, and when it does, it doesn't shout, it simply stands at attention. If you're watching this and someone has ever made you feel small for living a quiet, honest life, hold your head high. Your value isn't measured by titles or applause. It's measured